Happy Truthful Tuesday.
Happy Truthful Tuesday, guys.
Welcome back.
Yes. We're back again.
Yes.
It's a beautiful
day, early day before the sunrise.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. We have more subscribers.
Thank you.
We
Thank
love
you
the
so
feedback. We know last week's topic was a little touchy.
Yeah.
But someone has to say it, and we are willing to be the ones to talk about it.
We break the ice.
Yes.
Yes.
So as of today's topic is light and dark.
Yes.
It's actually dark outside right now.
It is.
But in a few minutes, the sun will rise and it will be light.
Yes, exactly.
And that's how life is.
And you wouldn't know if it was going to be light unless it was dark outside.
Exactly.
Right?
If it's always light, you have nothing to compare it to.
Exactly.
And you have nothing to appreciate.
Yes.
Therefore. So
there are these other lyrics to a song that I heard that say, darkness is just to make light count.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it is. You will not know what light is.
Unless you experience the dark.
The dark.
Yeah. Very true.
Or the sweet without the sour.
Yeah.
Right?
And these are all, I have to pull in the Ayurveda. These are all like concepts we learn in Ayurveda. Like you need the dark in order to grow.
Absolutely.
You plant a seed, and when it's planted, it's in the dark soil. And then the sun comes up and it provides other nutrients. And just like us, we need that. You can't always be in a dark place. You have to have the light. I mean, look at just like weather patterns. You think of the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly.
And they always have like cloud cover and whatnot. And a lot of people suffer from depression up there. And it's because it's always like dark.
Dark, yeah.
And the few days that they do get sunlight, they're all like, oh, happy,
Exactly.
there's sun,
Spring
you know?
up.
And
Yeah.
and without that darkness, they wouldn't appreciate that light.
You're absolutely right. It's true, and I think that we a lot of times strive to just have everything easy, right? In a sense, just have the light. Like, I wish that there were just good things in the world, and although that's a great idea, and we all want to minimize pain, like, darkness is part of the process.
Yes.
I love it.
You know, last week we touched about a lot of things that are happening in our world right now, and you know, a lot of it's out of our control. For example, this week there's a huge fire in the North Bay up in Santa Rosa, Napa, and Sonoma, and it's total destruction right now. Like, it looks like a war zone up there with how damaged people's homes and buildings are. And we look at it and we think, oh, how sad, and you know, but that's something that's out of our control. So we have to look at it as an opportunity to help.
Exactly.
We have to be people that are light, that go and bring light to these people that are suffering from darkness right now.
Yes.
And it's our job as humans to do that.
Exactly. And it unifies us.
Yes.
And I think that we're missing the whole idea. Like, and I know because it's the same thing with all these natural disasters that are happening.
Oh, yeah.
Along with the fires, there are the hurricanes that have completely destroyed Puerto Rico and all these other incredible islands.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people could connect to. You know, we're very diverse. So there are people that come here from the islands or have family from the islands.
Yeah.
And to feel and see their homes or their families' homes being destroyed is very difficult.
Yeah.
And it does put you in some type of emotional state that makes you feel bad, right?
Yeah.
But it's not made to make you feel bad and to bring you down. It's made to unify us so that we can send help, or so that we can be supportive in a way that we probably weren't before these natural disasters.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that that's a wake-up call, but there's still beauty in darkness.
You know, I was telling my sister-in-law yesterday, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And let me tell you, Mother Nature ain't happy.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely
She is not happy with the way we are handling the planet we live on.
Exactly.
And yeah,
and that's its way. That's Mother Nature's way of saying, like, we need to take better care of where we live. You know, instead of focusing on all these things that we make that are materialistic from earth that we wouldn't even be able to build if it weren't for the place that we live. I think that we need to start paying attention to what it is that we have and value it. Because the same way our body will show us when we're not taking care of it, earth will show us when we're not taking care of it.
And just to touch on that, like, you're given two homes, your body and the planet.
Yes.
And you have to take care of it.
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of the micro, even the macro is going to suffer.
Absolutely.
So you have the micro universe within you and you have the macro universe around you.
Yes.
And it needs nurturing. It needs love. And it all stems from a form of self-love.
Yes.
When you start being more conscious of what you put in your body and how you treat yourself, you start to view the outside world in the same manner.
Exactly.
And you want to do the same things for other people, for the planet, and the best place to start is within yourself.
Absolutely. And I was talking to someone yesterday about how self-love, I think people take it as like, oh, you love yourself, but it's not that simple.
No.
Like, loving yourself encompasses everything that you go through. So loving yourself is not just loving the sweet. It's not just loving the light. You have this light within you, this fire within you that is so bright, but it doesn't mean that you will not go through times of darkness. And if you don't love those times, you will not love yourself fully. And loving yourself fully encompasses those times.
Things, yes.
You go through those things, they help you grow, so you have to grow love for them. And loving yourself and those times allows you to teach people to love themselves and the things that they go through as well. Because everyone struggles. You know, we think, I was talking to someone yesterday as well about how we all think that we're all like the only one struggling, right, with certain things, until you talk to someone and have conversation and realize like, oh, you actually struggled with the same exact thing, right? And if you can love yourself through certain situations and talk to someone and let them know that what they're going through is temporary and that they should still love themselves and the process, then they grow as well, you know, because you love yourself. So although it's like self-love, you're really loving everything and everyone with it.
There was a quote I came up with when I was going through my own healing was, pain lasts only as long as you allow it to last. And part of the process of letting go of pain is learning to love it, learning to inquire about it, learn to have self-inquiry as to why you're feeling pain or why you're letting it affect you for so long. And that's part of what you're talking about with accepting it and loving it and nurturing it, because you yourself are made of light and dark. The light is always there, it just dims. And part of making it brighter is accepting the darkness and allowing the light allowing the darkness to transform into a brighter light. Yes,
absolutely. I mean, in everything, I always say that I help butterflies emerge, right? And it's because they go through such a great deal of darkness, and at the moment, they don't understand that they're gonna become this beautiful being. Like it's a caterpillar, and then it turns into this cocoon, and doesn't really know what the hell is going on. It's in darkness, and you don't know the outcome of it. But at the end of the day, you're not supposed to know the outcome of it, because the outcome will always be better if you allow it to let it mold you into being that stronger, more beautiful being.
Everything beautiful stems or comes out of the darkness. If you think about
That's incredible. It's so
when
true.
you're first conceived, you are in a dark place. The baby is in a dark space. Transforming. Being, molding into what it's going to become, and then it comes out into the light, and it's this beautiful little being. And the same goes, the same goes for a seed. Like, a lot of Eastern philosophy looks at the lotus flower because it actually stems way down in very mucky waters, and yet it grows towards the light into this beautiful flower above the water, above it all, into space. Like it's not even a lily that sits on the water, it reaches above the water. And that's, you have to look at how you mimic that. Like you are nature, and just, that's it. I mean,
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it. You
Embrace
have to, in order to not let these things bring you down, you have to love them and accept them and embrace them, because they do help you. It doesn't mean that I don't wish I could take everyone's pain away, right? But they're supposed to. Everything that I have struggled with has helped me become a better person.
Oh, yeah.
I would be lying if I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the things that I've gone through, right?
Yeah.
They offer wisdom, they offer lessons, they help you grow, they teach you. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but even when you work out, it hurts, right? A lot of people don't even like it because it's tearing your muscle fibers apart.
Yeah.
Like, you are breaking your muscle fibers down.
And what does every health person or bodybuilder tell you? You need to get your sleep. Because that's when it's dark and that's when your muscles are repairing and recovering
to
and
be
getting stronger.
To be stronger.
Yeah.
Right? They don't just hurt and then you walk away and you're like, God, that was for nothing.
Yeah.
No, they hurt.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But you walk away and you recover and you repair, and the food that you eat helps, right? And then you become stronger. You build from the destruction of your muscle.
Darkness is needed.
It is.
It's needed. So you can't, float through life thinking it's all just light. Like, it's not.
I'm going to give a little shout out to Balance Float.
Okay.
Right? Because I think that that's a really huge reminder of that.
Yes.
If you don't know what floating is, it's like sensory deprivation. Mm-hmm. So you're in a great deal of darkness when you're there. And I think that really helps me remember the benefit that comes from darkness. Yeah. Because I feel so relaxed and so soothed, and it kind of tricks my mind into remembering that, oh, this is where you came from. Yeah. Right? You started here. Yeah. In complete silence, complete darkness, and you turned into something better. Yeah. And that's what you feel when you float.
Yeah, the other thing about that is the great thing about sensory deprivation is, you're cutting everything off. Mm-hmm. You're in there, and in that sense of you being in the dark, it's actually taking you back inside to your own light. Like the physical and the outside is dark, but it allows you to go back within to the light within yourself. Absolutely. And it's an amazing thing. So yes, shout out to Balance Float, because it's an incredible experience, and everyone should try it at least once.
Yes.
After that, it's up to you.
Yes.
But you definitely have to try it at least one time.
It's a must. Yeah. It is. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that reminds you of that, that reminds you that it's temporary also, right? You're in the darkness, and it's funny how overwhelming it is too for people. Like, oh yeah, the darkness is like, I'm gonna be in the dark. I've heard so many people that I recommend floating to, like,
I don't know, I'm claustrophobic or this exactly. And I'm like, I am too, but
it's great.
There's just, everyone has a different experience, so unless you try it, you cannot knock it. No, because your experience is gonna be different than mine. My experiences are different than Ashley's. You really have to just try it.
Yep, it's part of the process, just like any form of darkness. I think that you can't avoid it. So stop trying to live a life where darkness doesn't exist, because we need it. Yeah. It is a tool. It's a resource. When you start viewing darkness as that, and you start appreciating your soil, it helps grow you.
I love that. Appreciate your soil.
Yes. I love it. I think it's so important. I myself grew up always wanting to have the easy life, right?
Oh, of course. We all want that, right?
We do. We crave it almost.
We don't want to stress. We don't want anything bad.
We don't want to work out.
All rainbows and sunshine and unicorns all the time.
That's it, and we don't want to go through pain. We don't want to learn the hard way. We don't want to struggle when it comes to love. But the reality is that every single one of those things gives you what you need to get to the next level, to be brighter
in your journey.
Yes.
Because everyone's journey is individual.
Exactly.
So you cannot compare your story to someone else's, because regardless of this, no, let me rephrase that. You both can go through the same situation. Yeah. But each individual is going to have a different experience out of that situation.
Oh yeah.
Because each individual has a different form of perception, a different mind. I think that's the only thing that's probably different amongst humans. Like, we talked about this last week. The one layer outside of us is different. Everything else physically is the same underneath this first layer. But the only other difference is how people think, and you can change the way you think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And changing the way that you perceive the world and what you're going through and who you are gives you, ultimate power and control over your life. You know, we think that the circumstances have control over what we feel, and it's the opposite. Like, you have full control. It's a practice. It's not easy, but you do have control over how you think and perceive the world around you, because trust me, it makes the world of a difference if you wake up like, here we go, another day, work, I hate it, and then you're at work and you're like, Donald Trump, I hate him, and then you're like talking to your friends and you're like, oh God.
It's a cycle.
It is.
It's a vicious cycle.
And it's draining, and that's more dark than the darkness that you're going through, believe it or not. And you can be the light that shines through the darkness. You can be the flower that stems from the soil that's dark, and you can be the one that goes to float and wakes up as a better person. Right? And I think that recognizing that and focusing on that is what allows you to just have a better life in general.
Yeah, I think for me, meditation was a huge thing. And sometimes when I recommend it to people, they're like, oh, I can't meditate, I just can't stop thinking. And that's not the point. The point is, when the thought crosses, analyze it. Why is it coming across? Like, you know, it's not, the more you tell your mind don't, the more it is going to. So like, if you're sitting there meditating saying, oh, don't think about that, don't think about that, that's the more you're going to start thinking about it. So the thing is the best example was in class, and she you know, we went into this state of like closing the eyes and imagining like a river, and your thoughts are the river, and the river doesn't stop flowing, it just keeps going, right? And literally she was like, okay, you're by the river, you see like a boat going by, and then out of nowhere she goes, and then you see a dead body, and everyone's like, what? And she's like, see there, when that happens, so that's like a bad thought, and you can't just stop. No. You just let it flow. You gotta like acknowledge it and just let it keep flowing.
Exactly.
And it was such a great exercise. But yeah, so you can meditate. If you're getting thoughts, there's a reason you're getting those thoughts.
Exactly.
You need to analyze those thoughts.
Yes. And I think a huge thing I want to talk about is the fact that you guys see us, and when we speak, we're very like we're enlightened and we're peaceful. And like, I think it's important for people to know that we are not these people all the time. Like, we don't wake up just with a perfect attitude all the time, and we don't go throughout our whole day feeling perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We don't. I had my client yesterday tell me, I was explaining to her these exact things. I was like, look, like, I am not always Ashley, hi, how are you? And she was like, huh? What? I don't get it. Like, you don't seem like you're ever even sad. And I was like, well, I choose that. Right? I choose to put on this energy for you, right? I choose to give this to you and to the people that I'm surrounded with. I choose this every time I wake up in the morning. It does not mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's Monday and I'm so, no, like, you definitely practice through meditation, through whatever else.
And it does get easier over time.
Yes.
So when you're first starting, it's very difficult. But over time, you don't hold on to those as long as you would, like, for me 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Great example, you bringing up an experience. Me this morning, I meditated, I was happy, I had my coffee, I'm on my way to work, and I get to work and there's no parking. And I'm literally like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed. Like, and most people know I'm a patient person. And a colleague sees me and she's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm annoyed. Like, but it literally lasted maybe 10 minutes.
Yes.
Because in my progress, I've come to a point where I now can have those moments, but they don't last. Like, I don't let it ruin the rest of my day.
Exactly.
You know, I'm like, why am I worrying about this? Like, hello, I don't need to.
And you end up
I did end up getting a parking spot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it will get easier over time.
Exactly.
But you won't know unless you practice it.
Exactly. The practice is what makes it get better. And you have to make sure that when you are going through things that are deeper, right, and you are greatly affected, like these past couple of months have been so difficult for me with not being able to be with my family, and then them going through a scare with the hurricanes, and then Puerto Rico going through their, destruction, and like just so much that I myself am going through. And at the same time, you still have to love yourself, still have to give yourself that value. It is difficult when you're going through a great deal of darkness, but when you focus on that practice and you don't give up, and you still make sure that you're practicing those little things that make the world of a difference, it helps you get through the darkness much, much faster.
And with that being said, we did not plan this, but we both are wearing shirts that say challenge accepted.
Hello.
So that's our cue for you guys. What's your challenge?
Yes.
Accept it and work on it.
Yes.
And if it's to accept the darkness,
embrace it.
Embrace it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We love you.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.